Hey everyone, we'll be starting in a moment. I am just getting things set up. Okie dokie. Up on there. Close. And bam. Connection seems good. Voice is being picked up. I think we're good to go. So, hi everyone. Welcome to another stream of Ace Attorney Investigations. How's everyone doing? Everyone's doing fine. Today, we are continuing where we had left off, where we had continued the investigation into the night's murder. We managed to get some more information. We learned that Simeon had been part of the circus that was actually performing here, and he's one of the monkey handlers or something in training. And that threw a wrench into the plans that we had of trying to get him off scot-free from being seen as the suspect. We went to question his boss, and it turned out to be Regina from the second game with the Berry Big Circus. And the elephant started petting Kay. It was funny. And then the evil woman with the fur coat came up and was like, "Hey, let's go feed my alligator that I have inside this prison." Great. And we were also questioning saw some more. He was like trying to hide things. He got a new bracelet because he broke his other one. He was like, "Oh, thank you, you son of a..." You know? But we're going to see how much we can get done today. I am hoping to get at least this case, or this part of the case, done. We are starting much later than I meant to, but we are going to try and not go too far. I don't want to go and stop at 9 p.m. today again. I ended up starting late because some stuff came up that I had to get dealt with before I started, so it is what it is. But we're going to see what we can do. So without further ado, let's get straight to it. Yep, up on there, and on there. Great. Dun, 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 dun. All right. It is up on here. Sounds being picked up. We're good. Let's do this. Continue. Yes. Right. We were looking into here because we had used Missile to follow a scent, which led us to this area. Mr. Canis's chisels. Every one a potential murder weapon. That reminds me of something. The furrows in your brow. When you frown, it looks like somebody took a chisel to your forehead. I have no idea what you mean. See, they're so deep. Don't tell me you don't see it, Mr. Wood-carving face. Have you quite finished? Hammer. Bell. Look, Mr. Edgeworth, that chisel on the floor is a bit smaller than the others. I'm no woodworker, but perhaps it's an all-purpose one that can be used in a pinch, regardless of the job. An all-purpose pocket chisel? Well, that's a lot of peas. All-purpose pocket pickle. Makes sense. Always nice when your tools are useful and easy to carry. Is that your opinion as a thief? Nope, it's my opinion as a great thief. I walked into that one. Cookies! Tea and rice crackers. Mr. Canis clearly doesn't lack for comforts. I feel like I'm more putting on the guy from the Great Ace Attorney. the boy with the bandana. I can't remember his name at the moment. Because it feels weird. Like I'm not doing it right. I can think of worse ways to spend my time in jail than drinking tea and playing chess. I thought this was a maximum security, not a maximum comfort. How come nobody else gets the special treatment? Complaining to me isn't going to help. Perhaps you could take it up with the man himself. Yeah, no thanks. Tea. Mr. Canis' chess set, complete with his special dog piece. Kazuma, that's it, yeah. But hi, Ruffatron. It must not have picked it up, because I did say it. I must have been too far away from the mic. That's not a chess set. There's a whole chess table with legs. Looks like it might be worth something, too. It's not inconceivable. Some of them are. And this was quite a nice one. I never would have pegged Mr. Canis as a chess fan, though. What with the whole Eastern aesthetic he's got going on. I thought he'd be wanting to go. Go where? Go, huh? Can you play? I can play Go Fish! Not the same thing, Kay. Not even close. Woof, 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 woof. Oh? What's the matter, boy? Hey, is this the cake that you were after? Is that brownie cake, chocolate cake, or carrot cake? Or banana bread? Woof. Oh, down, boy. Stop that. Woof, woof. No, you gotta have it. Dogs don't eat chocolate. You know that. If you don't behave, I'll just have to eat it myself. Not bad. More like a go board. Yeah. That's a real outside chocolate box thing in there. Not sure what everybody agrees, though. Dummy, I wanted some. Daring of you both to assume the food in a prison is safe to eat. Well, daring or dumb. So anyway, it looks like where it really was cake Missile was dragging. Talk about a waste of time. I suppose we just got our desserts. Or got our just desserts. But the little guy's definitely capable, right? Sure he is. That was just a blip. He'll follow the right scent this time, I promise. Seek boy. Bow wow wow. Oh, I think he's onto something. Whatever it is, it's in there. Mr. Casarato's cell. We need to take a look inside. Detective, call the guard. Yes, sir. Thank you, officer. A question before we begin. Is the prisoner, Mr. Casarato, still in solitary? It's only been a day, if not just a few hours. Oh, no, sir. He came back a little while ago. And he was here for his afternoon roll call. Guess he must be on work duty or something. I see. Now if you'd be so kind to open his cell. Yes, sir. It sounds like he's in physical pain when I do it like that. This punching bag has set no woof. What breeding were you again, Missile? Sure it wasn't a boxer? No way. No way indeed. Quickly, detective, move the sandbag aside. Yes, sir. I wanted to look at everything else. Oh. A hole. Could this be? Oh, wait, Missile. I'm going in too. Wait, stop. Oh, damn it. I was hoping to look at everything else. I just looked at this because it was the first thing I saw. Sir, I'll go get her. That's tight. You should have eaten that cake. He's gone. Well, I'm not going in there. Guess we'll just have to wait. I can't dirty my shirt. Hello? Kay? Are you alright? You're not going to believe this, but we're in the detention center. The detention center? That hole is a tunnel that leads right to Mr. Knight's cell. What? Don't go anywhere. I'm on my way. Man. "5:04 p.m. Hey. Hey there, Mr. Edgeworth. Guess you could say we made a breakthrough. Quite. At least they came out unscathed, I think. Sir, the floorboards under the bed were torn up. Oh, wow. It's that messy and no one ever saw that? You could see it if you just stood outside his cell. So that's how they did it. There's no doubt about it. This must be the route we've been looking for. The corridor connecting to the detention center and the prison is locked down by heavy security doors. But with the help of this tunnel, it can be circumvented. It was a sweet scent that started this whole search. Could it be that the scent was in fact coming from Knight's body after all? Incidentally, Knight's body was covered in dirt. Dirt that might have come from being dragged through the tunnel. Kay, what was it like down there? Well, it was pitch black, so I couldn't see a whole lot. Luckily, my camera has a flash, so I took some pictures. Looks like they broke through from the tunnel. Maybe, yeah. Then let's see what you've captured. Spoons. So many ruined spoons and forks. Is that actually a spork? And a cup? Look at that. Spoons, a fork. These were for digging the tunnel. That aside, are those footprints? Paw prints even. From a dog, perhaps? This is a vital piece of evidence. However, it begs something of a question. It does? Mr. Caserato has certainly been making use of this tunnel, which means... Detective, we need to find out where Mr. Caserato is, immediately. If my suspicions are correct... Huh? Oh, nuts! The guards were alerted and they began searching for Mr. Caserato right away. Maybe that made that mess and that's why it wasn't noticeable? Maybe. But after a thorough investigation of both the prison and the detention center, he was nowhere to be found. Well, have the police been notified? Yes, ma'am! We've just finished liaising with them a moment ago. I'm making him sound like Krillin now from TFS. They've set up a cordon around the entire facility. Good. The first blemish on a prison's spotless reputation is always the ugliest. It won't happen again, ma'am. A rather different warden. Lagarde to the one we've seen so far. Mr. Edgeworth, was it? I really can't thank you enough for finding that tunnel, darling. Sadly, it may have been too little too late. It seems he may have already left the building. I'd say that's unlikely, Warden. After all, there's a security gate at the exit of the detention center. It's him, he's working with Courtney, they're the real villains. You're not suggesting he simply walked through it? What's to say there's only one tunnel, sweetie? I suppose that's true. Well, whatever the case, this is no time to be standing around chit-chatting. Mr. Edgeworth, would you mind continuing with your investigation? It would be my pleasure. And you three, get back to your posts. Yes, ma'am. Detective, the results of the blood test just came back from the lab. Oh, thanks, pal. Let's see what they have to tell us about the blood found in Knight's cell. What does it say, Mr. Edgeworth? They identified the blood, and it's Knight's. Alright then. Is that a space duck? What? Nice job, everybody. Teamwork makes the dream work, huh? We got Knight's blood in a holding cell. A tunnel, and a dog clearly went through it. And security footage showing Knight being attacked by the dog in his cell. Case closed. We have all the evidence we need. Let's see what Mr. Canis has to say for himself. Canis, oh darlings, are you sure? Do be careful around him, won't you? He's well connected from the outside. On the outside as he is in here. I suppose he would have to be. How else would the so-called fixer stay in business? The police have been trying to track down his accomplices for the longest time. Even I've had to lend them a hand myself, you know. So that's what this was all about. Are you still not talking, ma'am? Even with the evidence you brought from the prison? No, I have tried so many times I've lost count. What am I supposed to do? I cannot send in a blank report. I guess a killer for hire will always be doing a tough nut to crack. I'm reading it like it's a school play. You borrowed evidence from the police to help with your investigation, is that correct? Why, yes, sweetie. Everything related to Canis is with me now. Heaven knows how many times I've hauled the secretive scoundrel into my office to talk to me. But no matter what I say or how much evidence I present him with, he simply won't say a word. A prison warden conducting interrogations herself? That's irregular, to say the least. Let your guard down and he'll devour you whole. Be careful, darlings. You have been warned. Ooh-wee. Here, I thought things couldn't get any spicier. No, I wanted to look around. Oh, goddammit, they're here as well. Judge Gavel, I didn't expect to find you here. We have been conducting inquiries, which, given that we are in charge of the investigation, is hardly strange. What is strange that you are still here, Mr. Edgeworth? I gave you a warning, did I not? I told you that your badge was at risk should our paths cross again, and yet here you are. I am sorry that you thought that I might be so easily discouraged, Your Honor. But I am not about to let the truth slip from my grasp, no matter what you or the committee might say. I am here to present a certain someone with evidence that you yourself should have uncovered. You have more business with me, I take it, Mr. Edgeworth. I do. I promised I would be back to prove that you were the killer, and here I am. This should be amusing. Very well, whenever you are ready.
Objection!
Not so fast! We have some truths of our own to share, first-rate deductions, in fact. Indeed, we are now more certain than ever that Simeon Saint was the murderer, and that only he could have moved Mr. Knight from his holding cell to the prison proper. Gavel? Shut the hell up! I'm interrogating a suspect. We shall prove this to you beyond a shadow of a doubt. But first, a question. Are you quite determined to continue on this course, Mr. Edgeworth? Should you fail to rebut our deductions, there will be no going back. Your very career hangs in the balance. You'll take his badge if you don't like how it goes. That's intimidation. Not at all. If anything, I'm showing him mercy. This is not Mr. Edgeworth's case. It never was. And I'm under no obligation to hear him out. If he is prepared to accept the potential ramifications of this action, I will allow him one last chance. Well, are you truly willing to take the risk, to put your beloved badge on the line? Mr. Edgeworth? That concept art of the killer I mentioned had him fighting Canis. Ooh, that sounds cool. Maybe we've got it in gallery later. I accept your terms. I am confident of my reasoning. And that's what's more. I am representing the firm of Edgeworth Co. and Co. And I do not intend to besmirch its name. My duty will be done, and I will not be intimidated. Very well, let us see whether you are brave, or simply reckless. I will not use foolish because that has been purloined by someone else. By the power vested in me by the almighty goddess of justice, let this judgment commence. Eustace, if you will allow me. Fine by me. He's all yours, Gavel. I'm like switching between voices for this guy. How Knight wound up in the prison proper. You are aware of the incident involving Mr. Knight the day before yesterday, I assume. He assaulted an innocent guard and stole his keys. Later, in the middle of the moving a large animal cage, Mr. Saint stopped by Mr. Knight's cell for a little visit. And that's when Mr. Knight stole out of his cell using the keys he'd stolen. He slipped into the cage, and where he hid, as he was wheeled to one of the prison workshops. It figures she was going to bring up Mr. Saint going to Knight's cell. Yesterday, after you'd so kindly made us aware of the security camera footage, we decided to take a look at it ourselves. That was yesterday? Perhaps you would like to see what we found. This is a still from the footage we received. Mr. Saint speaking with Knight at his cell. Correct. You will also note that he positioned the cage in such a way as to obscure the camera's view. It is the blind spot that Mr. Knight exploited in order to enter the cage undetected. A sound deduction based on what can be observed, wouldn't you say? A blind spot, which means that the camera couldn't have been able to capture the moment Knight entered the cage, if he did at all. So it's still possible that he didn't actually leave his cell at this point. I don't get it. Why would Mr. Knight want to hide in the cage? There is really only one possibility. He intended to escape. A prison break? That's so cool. Mr. Casterado, Mr. Knight, everybody's doing it. I have to step up my game. 2 people. That's everyone. Okay, now's not really the time. Mr. Casterato's escape is no laughing matter. It is my belief that Mr. Saint helped Mr. Knight with his escape attempt. That is to say, he was an accomplice. Wow, go Simeon. That wasn't a compliment. I understand that the cage was briefly taken to one of their workshops. I imagine that had things gone to plan, Mr. Knight would have remained in the cage until after the show. They'd see him disappear, yeah. And then remove the premises along with the rest of the circus equipment. Unfortunately for Mr. Knight, Mr. Saint had other ideas. He killed his friend in cold blood. Judge Gavel's argument seems reasonable, but there must be a fault in her logic somewhere, and I'm going to find it. And rub her face in it. Rebuttal. But...
Hold it!
Your Honor, what about this incident? You have heard about it, of course. Surely any attorney worth his salt would have had his sources. Yes, I am aware of it, of course. I simply wish to confirm that you are wasting both our time. Shall we continue?
Hold it!
Do you have any proof that Knight stole the keys? I can think of no other reason for him to carry out such a brutal attack. Once the guard he assaulted regains consciousness, I'm sure he will confirm our suspicions. I wouldn't be so sure. Perhaps I should press further on her reasoning. Sorry, but I believe there is a flaw in your reasoning. If Knight had the keys, there was nothing to stop him from leaving whenever he wanted. Why wait for Mr. Saint? There was no need, surely. He chose the option he deemed most likely to succeed. He stole the keys and hid them somewhere, and then waited for an opportune moment to present itself. He hid the keys. I'm afraid you might have to uncharacteristic oversight, Your Honor. But Knight wasn't hiding any keys. That has been proven already. And this is the piece of evidence that proves Knight didn't have the keys. Secret compartment. I don't know. I guess the keys themselves? Since you know about the incident, I assume you must already know this, but... After the assault, the guard searched for Mr. Knight and his cell, and no keys were found. And if the whereabouts of the keys cannot be proven, then neither can your theory. I have considered the matter of the missing keys, and I do not think it is such an issue. I still believe he had them. After all, the guards only stated that they were unable to locate them. And this is because they were clearly hidden behind his pocket chess set. Knight's chess set, the same in which the murder weapon was also allegedly hidden. Or was it? I can't help but wonder about that. What? You're the one who proposed it? Actually, if you recall, it was Eustace's assertion. So the two of them aren't on one mind on this, I take it. Allow me to restate the facts. Mr. Knight hid the keys he stole from the guard inside his chess set. When Mr. Saint came to see him, Mr. Knight used the keys to open his cell and climbed inside the cell. I do have to wonder about this reasoning because you can clearly see around that box. Like, you would see him, like, crouch down and go to the right to get into the box. Or if he tried to go off screen, you would see him walk down to it. This whole logic is really flimsy. He was then moved from his holding cell to that workshop in the prison proper. All with the help of his friend and accomplice. Had things gone according to plan, he would have been taken out of the facility after the show. But they did not. Instead, his accomplice murdered him while the show was taking place in the yard.
Objection!
But Mr. Saint was part of that performance. How would he even have time to commit the murder?
Overruled.
How indeed. Let me explain, or allow me to explain. As you know, many stage performances follow a set narrative. Yesterday's show was one such example. She's done her homework, I see. The suspect played the role of the antagonist opposite the elephantine heroine of the show. Jesus, woman, could you use any bigger words? In the latter part of the performance, the heroine's love prevails, and the villain defeated. This victory is depicted in a very unique manner, whereby the villain is sent flying from the stage by the heroine. He's of the Davy clan, he's most powerful off-screen. He is sent flying by the elephant. Wrong voice. Isn't that dangerous? Having been ejected from the stage in this manner, the villain no longer appears in the performance. In other words, the suspect did not appear on stage for a period of approximately 15 minutes. And you're saying the crime took place during that time? Yes, I'm afraid so. Why am I getting dizzy? I was not taking a breath until just now. After all, it's more than a sufficient window, wouldn't you say?
Objection!
It's like when someone went to Harvard and they always tell you. Tell me what? Committing the crime and returning to the stage in the short 15-minute window is only possible, assuming that the murder took place in the prison proper. But in fact, Your Honor, the real scene of the crime was Knight's cell. I seem to remember telling you that I would not accept this part of the security footage into evidence.
Objection!
Oh, we can accept yours? And you won't have to. I have proof of a different kind. Very well. Would you be so so good as to present it? What proof do you have that the murder took place in the victim's holding cell?
Take that!
They always tell you they went to Harvard. Oh, okay. This appears to be a photograph of a floor. Almighty Goddess of Justice, grant me patience. That floor you so dismissive of, Your Honor, has traces of Knight's blood on it. Traces, you say? Is this evidence reliable? After all, I don't believe you have access to the necessary forensic operatives.
Objection!
I have my resources. A certain blunt instrument, you might say, but a reliable one. The detective, how very unfortunate for him. Perhaps before you decided to circumvent the law, you might have considered that the committee's influence extends to the police. Oh no, not Gummy's badge is on the line too! Don't say anything. Forgive me, detective. I didn't mean to put you at risk as well. I just realized one of the statues in the back sometimes have dog faces. I will enter the fact that Mr. Knight's blood was found into the holding cell into evidence. However...
Objection!
Yeah, bad luck, idiots. You're really on the edge now, Mr. Worthless. Mr. Winner, I'd forgotten you were there. It was nice while it lasted. I was butted in to tell you that your entire argument is one big inconsistency. You showed us camera footage of a dog killing Mr. Knight in his cell. Are you saying the mutt also wiped the blood up before he left the scene? Uh-oh. What other tricks can it do, huh? A blood-wiping dog? You're a joke. You'd wipe up that blood, wouldn't you, boy? Yes, Helmet, yes you would. What? That was one of the tricks I taught him before our work together was so rudely cut short. He's a very tidy boy, you know. Never misses a drop. It wouldn't do to leave any evidence after all. Saved by an assassin of all people. Jeez Louise. Could have just taught the little guy to shake hands. Oh, he does marvelously at that too. Although the way I taught him to do it is somewhat unorthodox. First, he bites down the hand on the victim's hand. Bite down's hard. That's what I meant to say. He can shake, but it's only if it's a baby. Oh, God. Okay, Raffertron, calm down. Then. No, I'm not listening. I see. Very well then, Mr. Edgeworth. It seems you may have gathered some evidence worth considering. Your understanding is much appreciated. Wait, I'm not done yet. I've just thought of something else. Overruled. Oh boy, somebody's taking no prisoners. Eustace, would you be so kind as to allow me? All yours, Gavel. Well, do you accept the truth now? The crime took place in Knight's holding cell, and the assassin dog was the killer. My position is the same as it was yesterday. Until you can explain how the dog moved between the prison and the detention center, I can't accept your theory into evidence. I thought you might say that, which is why I'd like to show you something else. This piece of evidence shows how the dog could freely travel between the prison and the detention cell.
Take that!
This is... It's a secret passageway. It runs beneath the prison. What? A secret passageway? It was dug by one Mr. Rocco Carasetto, perhaps. Or Caserato. It leads from his prison cell to a certain holding cell in the detention center. Yes, the very one where the victim was being held. Well, this is certainly a surprise. To think that it was beneath our feet this entire time. Mr. Canis, you knew of this tunnel, didn't you? Because it's the same tunnel that used to carry out the murder.
Overruled.
In the name of the goddess of justice. Overruled, Mr. Edgeworth. You are out of line.
Hold it!
How so, Your Honor?
Overruled.
Evidence is everything, whether in a court of law or at the scene of an investigation. Isn't that your little catchphrase? Well, it just so happens that I have some evidence of my own. Bronco's Knight's autopsy report. His autopsy report? Hello, Mr. Mighty Wings. Welcome. Isn't there a way in a prison also featured in Ghost Trick? Don't know. Maybe. I've not played it. When'd you get that? How do you not know you had it? The police handed it to me only a short while ago. The findings are still preliminary, but it is something of value to tell us nonetheless. The goddess of justice speaks to us through these pages, Mr. Edgeworth. Cause of death, stab wound to the throat, and the weapon is said to be a sharp blade of some sort. It seems the victim was stabbed repeatedly in the same spot, resulting in an ugly wound. As such, the police have yet to identify the exact shape of the weapon. But its overall nature seems to be beyond question. It is a bladed metal instrument. In light of this evidence, do you truly wish to continue with your flight of fancy? Or will you continue to claim the dog used a knife instead? Well, that's impossible! And that will be all. This court is adjourned.
Objection!
But the tunnel, the paw prints! What of them? Helmer is something of a wanderer. Perhaps he just happened across the tunnel one day. Although I couldn't say for certain. I myself cannot wander quite so freely. That would be quite a coincidence, but I can't prove it's not the case either. She sure knows how to keep a secret, huh? Kinda wish she cut her in the teeth in a little while with that. A little earlier. She was baiting me, waiting for the perfect moment to crush me with that autopsy report. And I fell for it, hook, line, and sinker. You are a lead attorney for the defense, correct, Mr. Fender? This is the interim autopsy report in question. I do apologize for the delay. Yeah, no sweat. Thanks for hooking us up. This all checks out. Yep. Mr. Fender, a handshake is not necessary when receiving an official tort documents, you know. So please feel free to let go of my hand. It's not a holy relic after all. I was just trying to be friendly, Your Honor. Had you lingered a moment longer, the goddess of justice would have spoken to you through my gavel. All right, I got it. Nice work, Gavel. Just like we planned. I did only as you instructed, Eustace, but thank you. This report came from the police. I have no choice but to accept its legitimacy. But if the dog didn't kill Mr. Knight, that takes Canis out of the running. Interim as in soon to be outdated. Possibly, yeah. The goddess of justice speaks to me, Mr. Edgeworth, and she is merciful. Are you insane then? Are you hearing voices? She tells me that you might yet keep your badge if you were finally abandoned this fruitless quest. What's it, move, sir? It means it this time. What do you think, detective? My answer remains the same, Judge Gavel. I will see my duty done, and I will not be intimidated. Even with how things stand, you still refuse to concede. This may very well be your last chance. Your badge hangs by a thread. Then let it fall if it must. I have something far more important to protect as an associate attorney. My client. The goddess of justice is no doubt saddened by your refusal to accept yet another offer of mercy. Attaboy, Miles. That's what I like to see. Looks like the defense never rests is really starting to mean something to you. Credit to your old man, though. He's the one who said it first. Way to just dig into us for no reason. It's like, oh, I know you said it now, but your father said it first, so he's better. My father? In fact, I could swear I saw Gregory's spirit used for a second there. You said you've changed since your days in Vern Karma's shadow. I didn't believe you at first, but I'm starting to. Thank you, Fender. Alright, kids. This is where the rubber really hits the road. Put your thinking caps on, it's make or break time. If it's true that Knight was off to them with a bladed weapon, does our whole case really fall apart? A bladed weapon? Of course! There were 5 chisels in Mr. Canis' cell when we last looked. A former assassin certainly wouldn't struggle to commit murders with a tool like that. In which case the weapon that killed Knight was... Have you quite finished? I have murdered... I didn't get a chance to finish! It would be in your best interest to concede. Evidence is everything. It may very well be my little catchphrase if it's also true. So the murder weapon was a sharp blade? Then where is it? The guards didn't find it. Why can't you let this go? So what if they didn't find it? What are you driving at? What if I were to tell you that I now know what the real murder weapon was? And it was right under our noses the whole time. Indeed, it was one of Mr. Canis' chisels. What?
Overruled.
Oh, my ear popped. I would advise you to stop bombarding us with your irresponsible half-baked theories, Mr. Edgeworth. You have repeatedly insisted that Mr. Knight was killed in his cell by a dog. I simply go where the evidence takes me, both in the courtroom and the scene of the crime. If the murder weapon was in fact a chisel, then yes, the murderer could have not have been the dog. But that begs the question of what exactly it was we saw in the security footage. Oh yeah! The security footage! How do you explain that, Mr. Smarty Pants? An excellent question. The footage shows... the dog jumping on somebody. Mr. Canis' dog jumping up at Knight. The dog attacked Knight, but he didn't kill the man. He didn't. No, Knight was merely knocked out. The dog didn't grab a corpse to the tunnel. He dragged an alive but unconscious Knight. The real killer was the dog's master. Oh, I get it. By bringing Knight here, Mr. Canis could finish the job. It would definitely be one of his chisels to do it. Correct. You, Bullet Hammer Canis. You are the only one who could have done it.
Objection!
Hey, Mr. Edgeworth, you ever get this on your report card? Refuse to listen, must learn to respect others. Are you asking me or confessing to what's on yours? We already searched Mr. Canis' cell from top to bottom, right away, right, Gavel? Yes, we even inspected his chisels, all 4 of them. And there wasn't a single speck of blood.
Hold it!
Why, thank you, Your Honor. You have just confirmed my theory. I have? What exactly do you mean? The last time we were here, there were 5 chisels, not 4. Oh yeah, I remember counting them. Definitely 5. And the one that's missing is the smaller one. The one we thought might be a pocket chisel. Mr. Canis, where did you hide that chisel? A pocket chisel? And what mice would I use for such a thing? I am rarely allowed to leave my cell. In which case, he shouldn't have had the chance to dispose of the weapon. You've dug your own grave, Mr. Canis. You seem to have an idea where this missing chisel might be, Mr. Edgeworth. Would you enlighten us? For a man who can't leave his cell of his own volition, Canis could only have hidden the chisel here. Well, his cell.
Take that!
Mr. Canis is still a prisoner. Despite the comfort he enjoys, he is rarely allowed out of his cell. He could have given the chisel to his dog to leave somewhere. But that would have been far from ideal. He would have had no way to guarantee where it might end up. Intriguing. Go on, Mr. Edgeworth. Furthermore, the room is the only place, or the one place where a bladed instrument wouldn't raise an eyebrow. 4 chisels, 5 chisels, who's counting? In fact, he took full advantage of... the old keep the incriminating evidence close routine. Classic.
Objection!
But I looked. I searched the whole cell myself, and there's nowhere he could have hidden it.
Objection!
I am certain the murder weapon is here, and that reason why no one has found it yet is because it was hidden in such an ingenious manner. Do enlighten us, Mr. Edgeworth. What was my ingenious plan? Think, Miles. There must be a hiding spot he could make use of. Think about when you came here previously. What were you missing? Oh, he's not doing us that permanently, right? Let's get out of here, come on! I was looking everywhere for that. The dog. He hasn't made a sound today. When we were here before, he barked and growled repeatedly. Canis even encouraged him to do so. That must be it. I knew something was off. I can hardly believe it, but I think I know where the murder weapon is hidden. Give it up already. I expected more of you, Mr. Edgeworth.
Hold it!
As well should you. As well you should, if you would give me a moment. For this piece of evidence shows where you hid the murder weapon.
Take that!
Your dog. He seems unusually quiet today. Oh yeah, unlike last time when... Mr. Canis, if you'd be so kind as to open Helmut's mouth. Come on now, he hasn't barked because he's a well-behaved boy. I had ordered him to last time. Then order him again, this instant. One second. Right, sorry about that. I was just reading something stupid. And there it is. So yeah, now another second. So I have to deal with that. Where is it? This one. Yeah, now another second. Shut up, me. I want to hear myself. Quiet. Here we go. Right, sorry about that. Where is my thing? There it is. Then order him again, this instant. It's not like we're asking the world, Mr. Canis, or do you have something to hide? If you insist. Come on, Helmet, open up. And there we have it. A chisel that small was easy enough for the dog to hide. What? A chisel in the dog? Why is there a chisel in the dog? I thought it'd be strangely quiet. I guess his brain has finally caught up. Eustace, why don't you be a good boy and call for forensics? Tell them it's urgent. Okay. Our findings are as follows. The traces of blood were detected on the chisel. What? Not such a half-baked theory after all, was it? Alright, so we're on the same page here. This is our murder weapon, yeah? The forensic evidence cannot be ignored. We have no choice but to concede that this is the most likely case. Yay! But... Mr. Canis, in light of the discovery of the murder weapon, the court demands that you explain yourself. We found the route your dog took to the holding cells, and now we have the chisel. How do you propose to talk your way out of this one? You never fail to entertain, Mr. Edgeworth. Why does he always laugh like that, even when it's not funny? Suddenly Emma appears. Yeah, that would have been nice. Poor Helmet. How could they suspect us? You leave me little choice. I shall simply have to share with you the truth. I did not kill anyone. I have grown tired of killing. Something's not right. Why is he so calm? Very well, the court will hear Mr. Canis' testimony. If you would be so kind. Gladly. Perhaps you might begin by explaining what you believe my motive to have been. I never knew this knight. I had no contact with him, no connection whatsoever. Given that this is the case, why would I possibly wish him dead? Ah, could it be you were suggesting that it was my canine companion who had the motive instead? Helmet only bares his fangs when I tell him to. Oh really, then why did he bark at me when I first met him? I'm not so bloodthirsty that I would kill a man I did not know. I mean, when he puts it that way... An assassin only kills with acquaintances. Not the soundest business model, I agree. My work required me to deal with strangers, of course. But murder for its own sake? That's not my style. So I need to prove a link between Knight and Mr. Canis. I should go over the evidence again and see what I can discover. They play chess, so yes, they knew each other. I realised that his chess thing says boss, but with numbers. You know, B-055 is B-O-S-S.
Hold it!
I'm puzzled by this focus on motive. Aren't you an assassin? Assassin or not, Mr. Edgeworth, I don't spill blood for nothing. Neither in a professional nor in a private capacity. That's just not how it's done, is it, boy? No. No, it's not.
Objection!
You're getting sloppy, Mr. Canis. You may have trained your dog to clean up your messes, but some things still require a human touch. I found this in the victim's room. It's the record of a game correspondence of chess. What's more, the game depicted matches the game laid out on your board. What? The number of possible games have been calculated to be 10 to the power of 120, and that's on the low end. Wait, so that's 10 times 10, 120 times over, right? 100, 1,000... I give up. I mean, what do you even call a number that big? A vanishingly unlikely coincidence, that's what. Now, tell us why you killed Knight. Unless, that is, you would prefer to explain the coincidence. He was so bad yesterday, killed him. Well, they do say the truth is stranger than fiction. It is, as you say, a coincidence. But that's totally impossible. We just proved that. A coincidence is a different kind, child. I never imagined my correspondence was the victim, you see. And yet here we are. Helmet is as surprised as I am, aren't you, Helmet? Yes, yes. I suppose there's nothing for it but to finally tell the truth, boy. The other prisoners had all gone to the yard, you see. It was a show of some sort, I believe. Here I was, minding my own business, when in comes Helmet, dragging a corpse of all things. I had quite the shock, not least because the murder weapon was still in the poor fellow's neck. Of course, it was none too keen on becoming a suspect, so I had Helmet take the body to the workshop. Once there, he removed the murder weapon and brought it back to me, just as I had asked. The dog pulled out the murder weapon in the workshop. Indeed he did. Removing it here would have made an awful mess after all. You know something? That makes total sense. Remember what Mr. Sartre said, Mr. Edgeworth? That huge black dog. He had sunk his terrible teeth into the victim's throat. What did you just say? It was hellish. Utterly hellish. That awful beast, he killed him. I see. So what Mr. Sartre actually saw was Hubbard removing the murder weapon then. Precisely. Can't say I was a little disappointed that he was spotted, of course. Silly boy. It's not like you to sleep up like that, is it now? And there you have it. That is about all there is to tell. I did not kill the man. At most, I am responsible for the removal of the weapon. Now, will that be all? Paul Helmet is growing restless.
Objection!
I didn't think you'd sound like that. Sorry, but if you could entertain us for just a little longer, Mr. Canis. Fender? No offense, Palio, but I don't think you've quite told us everything. I'm sure we'd like to know why you thought you needed to pull the chisel out in the first place. He's right. It makes sense that he would move the body to avoid suspicion, but Canis had no reason at all to recover the murder weapon. So the mute one isn't as dumb as I thought. Please answer the question, Mr. Canis. It was because of the bell. That one attached to the chisel, and the one around Helmet's neck. I have a very distinctive design, if you will. Or have a very distinctive design. It's thin enough he could fit through those bars. Yeah. He's like that thing with the rhino. It's like, we built this cage to keep him secured, and oh my god! Of course, there was something of a trademark of yours, were they not? I don't get it. How does that even work? Put it Homocanis, the blind butcher. His appearance was always announced by the sound of bells. The last sound his victims would ever hear. You flatter me. Though it's been some years since you last saw one of them, you remember them well. Your knife and its attached bell were one of the pieces of evidence received in our case against you. Yes, it was but one of my bells, one of only two in existence. Just two? Two and only two. One for my knife and one for my beloved helmet. Exquisitely crafted, utterly unique. My ears are my guide, after all. And I must be able to use my tools, precisely. Of course, as you said, the knife had long since been taken from me. attached to Helmet the dog, the other to Canis' knife, which was seized by the police during his arrest. When Helmet brought the body to my cell, he was rather surprised to hear a familiar sound. Were those baby rhinos? Yes, it was a baby rhino. At first, I was sure that my knife had been used to do the deed. But no, a chisel, an ordinary chisel. It's certainly no assassin's blade. Nonetheless, the bell would have suggested my involvement. Compounding the matter is the fact that I am the only person in this prison permitted to use such tools. It was clear that I would become the prime suspect. And so, the chisel had to be removed and hidden.
Hold it!
You still claim that all you did was have the dog move the body? Then you had nothing to do with the killing? How could I? I told you, the chisel is not mine. You need not take my word, Mr. Edgeworth. Why not have it checked for fingerprints? Eustace, a wrong voice. Huh? Me? But I don't know how to check for prints. Get forensics. Oh, right. Sure thing. We got him. Fingerprints. They're Mr. Knight's. Mr. Canis's? Nope, just Mr. Knight's. Oh, and forensics said there's no sign of any prints having been wiped off. Only Knight's fingerprints? This isn't good, and doesn't make sense, because then who killed him? Should I get the check again? Now do you see? I have never so much as touched that chisel. Helmet carried it in his mouth, that is all. Useless, useless, useless! I do not see any JoJo's. Therefore, any prints must belong to whoever had it last. So the murder weapon belonged to the victim. Ooh, that's not helpful. As I said, I have not touched the chisel. Therefore, I cannot be the killer. Or do you wish to suggest otherwise? I've got nothing to counter with. But what could this mean? Is he not the killer after all? Is he actually telling the truth? No, he can't be. Or once a killer, always a killer. I am sure this goes without saying, Mr. Edgeworth, but if you do not find a solution to your current predicament, and quickly, I will have little choice but to relieve you of your badge. Even my patience has its limits, and I will not tolerate you throwing the investigation into chaos. You done it now, sir? She's serious? I hate to admit it, but the fingerprints turn everything on its head. Without more evidence, I'm back to square one. Wait, something doesn't add up. A few things, actually. What would Mr. Knight have needed a chisel for? You could do a lot with a chisel, child. Break out of prison, for one. Alright, then how did he get it in there? There's no way the guards would let him bring a sharp-ob tool with him. Right, Mr. Edgeworth? Hey, Mr. Edgeworth! You can't stand there hemming and hawing just like because of a little setback. The important thing is find the truth, you know? Doesn't matter how we get there. As long as we save Simeon in the end, we can't give up now or ever. Hey, what she said. I'll second that. You want me around, Kay? I'm half tempted to offer you a job for real. It's like I said, the defense never rests. Or rather, like your pop said, what do you think lies at the heart of those words, Miles? Any guesses? The heart of those words. It's like this. As defense attorneys, our client's fate rests on our shoulders. We're the only ones they can turn to. Simeon's our client, and we're the only ones who can save him. So we can't rest, not while he's on counting on us. I'm not about to turn my back on your old man's legacy. Are you? I am an associate with the defense now. No, I'm an associate with my father's firm. That's the role I've chosen. That means that if I fail to save my client, I've failed in my duties. I will honor my father's vision, and I will save Simeon Saint. No matter what setbacks I face, I cannot admit defeat. If one path is blocked, I must simply find another. There we go, that's the Miles Edgeworth I know. Let's find the new path forward. We can start by trying to figure out how Mr. Knight brought the chisel in from the prison. Into the prison is what I meant to say. Bless me. Right, how would Knight have managed to bring a chisel in from here? Usually it wouldn't be possible to bring a metal object into the facility undetected. Because of the security gates, right? Correct, but we already know that checks at one of the gates hadn't been entirely thorough of late. Namely, the gate at the entrance of the detention center. That gate is only used to scam people. Any items that bring in the facility are only subject to a cursory check. Are you telling me the chess set wasn't put through the metal detector? I should have been, but alas, it seems the guards have been throwing a bit lax of late. Gosh. Thank you. The knight took advantage of this little oversight and had Mr. Saint bring him the chisel, hidden inside his pocket chess set. That does answer one of your questions, or our, and it suggests that the chisel was indeed Mr. Knight's and not Mr. Canis's. Woo. However, we still have one rather pressing problem to address, that of the security footage in which Mr. Knight is attacked by a dog. How does one explain it if Mr. Canis was not the culprit? But then, how do you explain his prints not being on the murder weapon? That one's a real three-piper. The court, too, finds itself wanting for a satisfactory explanation. Wait, sir. I think we might have time to show you another one of my secret weapons. Introducing secret weapon number 4, Lil V. What sort of name is that, detective? I came up with it myself, sir. Anyway, we can use it to analyze the video footage. An excellent idea. Then you might finally see that I'm telling the truth. Who knows if there's anything to be found, but it's worth a try. All right, let me talk you through how to use it, sir. Seeing as I'm not exactly familiar with the video analysis techniques, perhaps I should hear him out. Sure, why not? If you could run me through its functions, detective, that would be most appreciated. Yes, sir. So basically, you're going to do what you always do. Examine everything that catches your eye. And I can examine things with why. I see. Next up, see those controls at the bottom of the screen? The pedals on the left and right let you rewind or fast forward. You can use the middle of the pause. Get used to those, you're gold, sir. It seems I can also press right bumper and left bumper to fast forward or rewind the footage. And I can press A to pause. When the video is paused, you can go through the previous frame with left bumper or right bumper with the next frame. Or just use the same control panels I showed you earlier. Lastly, I better explain how to zoom in. Just line up the whole cursor of the area you want to take a closer look at. And then use the pedal on the right, left, and little V will do the rest. It's got 2 of those expanding arrows on it, see? Can't miss it, sir. It would appear that I can zoom in by pressing X, too. Oh, by the way, as you zoom in, you can still examine stuff right in regular view. Yawning while I'm doing this voice. Weird. Also, you can make use of the previous and next frames to take a good look at what's really happening. Only thing you can't do when you're zoomed in is play the footage, so there's that. I see. And how do I zoom out again? Just use the pedal on the right side again, sir. See how it's gone from the expanding to collapsing arrows there? That's because you're zoomed in. And that about sums it up, pal. Now let's fire little V up for real. Remember, just examine anything that catches your eye, and you'll do fine. The footage of Mr. Knight's holding cell. Learning from Serenade, yeah. Other than seeing the victim being attacked by that dog, I can't see what else it might show us. But suppose we're wrong. What could we be looking at instead? Could the person in the footage be someone other than Knight? And if so, could whatever's attacking them be something else too? I should keep both questions in mind while reviewing the footage. Never know what you're going to see once you start looking at things up close. Check every detail, sir. You'll find something, I'm sure. What in the footage seems odd? I must be seeing things. I should take another look. If it's nothing seems at first glance, zooming in might help with details. That is a bear. Wait, that's... I suspect we may have made a critical error of judgment. What we're looking at here is no dog. This animal is... a pig! It's a bear. That's not a dog, it's a bear. What? So the portraits of the photo I took are not canine, but ursine. A bear? That could mean... Yes, I think it could. After all, who else do we know with such a pet? And he was quite aggressive when we first met him. And if we were to mistake it about the creature in the footage, it's not inconceivable we were mistaken about the person in the footage too. Or maybe there's something else that could help prove it was who it is, sir. No, that shows it was at night. You're right. We can't see the person's face, which means a direct identification is out of the question. But perhaps there's something that can tell us who they are indirectly. Indirectly? Like the mirror? Yes, that is certainly worth a look. I'm waiting for his face to be exposed so I can actually examine. That told me nothing. The figure is reflected in the mirror here too. Is that a hat? Say, that doesn't look like the hats the guards wear, right, sir? Oh, jeez, is that what I think it is? Have there been any reports of one of the animals attacking a guard recently? No, not that I heard of. So this might not be a guard at all, but somebody dressed as one. Perhaps this might shed a little light on the matter of the hat.
Take that!
So no guards have reported being attacked by an animal as far as we know. But we did hear about a guard's spare uniform being stolen. How could the person in the security footage perhaps be someone disguised as a guard? Someone attempting to escape without being noticed. A guard disguise? I guess it might work. Wait, we were just talking about someone? We were indeed. Someone who seems to have successfully made his escape. We assumed that they were... Oh, wait, wrong voice. We assumed that it was night in the security footage. Well, it was his cell. It's hardly a crazy theory. Perhaps, but now that we know that the hole under the bed, it is no longer the only possibility. Whoever had access to the tunnel could very well be the one caught on camera. And who was that, Mr. Edgeworth? Could you care to tell the court who you believe this person to be? The person in the security footage is... Well, I like to think it's him, but we'll go with this guy first. I believe I know who our guard in disguise is. It is none other than Rocco Casarato, the prisoner who'd recently escaped from this facility. I'm confident it's him because he was assigned a polar bear cub as his companion. But the bear in that photo is all black. Indeed, and we have evidence that explains why. The evidence that explains the polar bear's dark fur is... I mean, if we saw in the reflection, it was actually white. Is it really going to be because it was dirty? You mean to tell the court that this somehow explains how a white bear became black? Call me a dum-dum, but... Okay? How does that even work, Majorino? Indeed. Do enlighten us. You don't have to tell me, I already know the answer. Huh. The court requests the defense refrains from making baseless assertions. I guess seems that point wasn't the answer. Mr. Casarato's bear. Mr. Stark could have given it one of its treatments, right? Indeed, but the nature of the treatment may very well hold the key. Your Honor, I would like to present another piece of evidence. Okay, then I guess it's the mud treatment. Very well, may the goddess of justice guide your hand.
Take that!
Recall, if you will, Mr. Frank Sword's testimony. That's the rubber glove I dropped. Would you care to explain why it's so dirty? Oh, of course, that's much from one of the pet treatments I've been practicing. I was giving up one of the things, the animal mud pack, right away when the incident happened. I see. Around what time would that have been? Let's see. That show had already started, so around 9 p.m. perhaps. The thing is, the more the word replied, the more the don't I got. I got the darker animal fur because of it. There's no trace time line tracks one enters when one slathers an animal in thick black mud. While the circus performance was underway, he was giving one of the animals a mud pack treatment. And that animal could have been, indeed, a polar bear.
Overruled.
Mr. Edworth, your latest assertion simply introduces yet another contradiction. The footage from the security camera... I fully understand, Your Honour, and your doubts are entirely justified. Mr. Sard mentioned applying the mud pack when the circus performance was underway, and this does indeed introduce a new contradiction concerning the security footage. It does? Yes, let's put it this way. When would you expect the footage to have been recorded, Kay? If it was taken right after he applied the mud pack treatment, it would have been around 9? In which case, something isn't quite right about the footage. Really? And what's that? What new contradiction does the security footage introduce relative to when it was recorded?
Take that!
Mr. Sword said he administered the treatment at 9 a.m., in which case the security footage should be shown as around 9. However, the timestamp says 6:40. On the day of the murder, the prisoners all went out to the yard to watch the circus. All except 3, Mr. Canis, who remained in his cell in maximum security, Mr. Sawyer, who was administered a mud pack treatment at the workshop, and Rocco Carcerato, who had been waiting the precise moment to put his escape plan into action. I believe he entrusted the bear to Mr. Sawyer before entering the tunnel. Look at the bear! Whee! And the bear then slipped out of Mr. Sawyer's grasp and run after its human. Mr. Sawyer would have left the office, the workshop, to pursue the bear, at which point he saw Mr. Canis's dog retrieving the murder weapon from Mr. Knight's body. It all fits perfectly, except for the security footage, which would have been recorded around 9 a.m. However, the timestamp is 3 hours off. But why would the timestamp be wrong? Detective, I would like you to have the security camera examined right away, please. I'm back, sir. I just talked to the guards and... It seems like the time codes can slip on these cameras if they lose power. A what? They're pretty old, sir. I guess the clock stops when the power's off. Which would mean the power was off for approximately 3 hours at some point. Interesting. Oh, that's all, sir. Remember how Knight died stealing the keys? No one believed him considering, well, you know, he seemed kind of the only suspect. Turns out that wasn't all he said. He also said he was knocked out cold, just like the other guy. Which may not necessarily have been a lie. Darlings, there you all are. How goes the investigation? Is there anything I can do to help things along? Why are you up suddenly appearing? Actually, there might be something we can do for you, me Warden Lagarde. The escapee, Mr. Carcerato, I believe he may still be on the premises. He is disguised as a guard. Here's the proof, should you need it. We're reasonably certain that the person captured on this tape is our man. And if I'm correct, he might have even be right here in this room with us now. CMOS is a basic component of even the older security cameras. Yeah. Why is there so much noise for only 3 people? Or 2 people? Hey, Mr. Carcerato would have wear a bracelet, right? Yes, a bracelet that could easily be hidden under the sleeve of his stolen uniform. Furthermore, I bet it's that guy over there, near the door. The doors are out of the prison proper don't have those sensors that detect the bracelets installed. So if he avoided the doors with sensors, he could simply wait for an opportunity to finally make his escape. Well, yes, I suppose he could. He'd just have to avoid the workshop and the cells and... Oh my. He's one of you, isn't he? He's right here now. Bear! Look, it's Teddy! Hey, paws off! Get your mitts off me, you big palooka! Thank you, Teddy. Very kind of you to confirm our suspicions. Dang it, kid. It wasn't for you and I... What a thing is it to be loved, huh, Mr. Caserato? I'm almost envious. Guards, apprehend this man. A moment, if you will. I have some questions for our would-be escapee. If we are to learn the truth, I would need to speak with him. With your permission, of course. I can hardly say no now, can I? Well, come on then, hit me with your best shot. Mr. Carson's escape route led directly into Knight's cell. So it's highly possible he has something to offer. Tell me, what were you doing on the day Mr. Knight's body was discovered? So it was you guys, huh? You're the ones who fought my secret tunnel. You know how long it took me to predict that freaking thing? I had me a guard's uniform, a whole dog, and a plan in place, so I went for it on the day you found the guy. But then this little guy just had to come right after me. The sack of fur was covered in mud, too. Had to go back to our cell. I would have gone away with it if somebody had an off night and brought your bums down here. You claim to have dug that tunnel just now. How exactly did you do it? How? I used everything I could get my hands on. Seen? Hammers wouldn't help. Hammers, spoons, you name it. I spent every dime I had on a cockamamie fixer. What do I got to show for it now, huh? Don't be disheartened, friend. Tomorrow is another day. There's an outside chance Mr. Caserato and Knight met face to face just before Knight's death. It's probably Mr. Caserato knocked them both out. I should see what other details I can extract from him.
Hold it!
The tunnel. Shut up! Who are you telling to hold it? The tunnel you said you... And you don't know nothing. You don't know what I had to do. I had to come in crawling for the fixer-monk. Had to grovel and kowtow day after day. How are you going to give me back the hours, huh? The days, the months? I can't get a word in edgewise. You should have never stuck your noses in my tunnel. Never! The claw and breaking up tight.
Hold it!
So the tunnel was all your own work. Every inch. You see everybody else in that cell when you was there, huh? That's quite an effort even for an athlete. Yeah. Now that I think about it, that is an insane amount of digging for one guy. Well, you don't even know the half of it, kid. But it ain't like I had a choice. Trust nobody and don't get caught. That's the rules the con's gonna live by. Huh. You know, the rules being a great thief are pretty similar. Okay, would rather you didn't start sympathizing with the suspect. I was, just joking, Mr. Edgeworth. It ain't no sense sticking joke to me. You punks owe me.
Hold it!
The uniform was from the fixer, too. Uh-huh, sure was. Heard he had something on one of the guards. Had that guy swept it from a pal's locker. And were you wearing it when you came crawling through the tunnel? Nope, would have got dirt on it. Had to hold on to it until I got to the holding cell. Once I was out of there and all dressed up, opened the cell door, should have been a piece of cake. Here we go, I thinks. Freedom beckons, and then the furball here jumps at me. Which would be the moment captured on camera. I see. I'd be grateful if you could add that to your testimony.
Hold it!
Opening the cell door should have been a piece of cake, you say? Sure. Anything seems easy after dragging yourself through a hole in the ground. And you were familiar with the layout of the detention center, even though you live in prison. Why wouldn't I be? It ain't like I've ever been here before. If he's familiar with the detention center, then he'd be surely aware that unlike the doors in the main prison, the holding cell doors are locked with actual keys. And I'm sure Mr. Caserato would have needed that particular piece of evidence to make his escape.
Objection!
You claim that leaving the holding cell would have been a piece of cake, as you put it. Yeah, you got a problem with that? Because we can make it a problem if you catch my drift. Even once you've reached Mr. Knight's cell, you'd still have another door to contend with. How exactly did you plan on opening it? Mr. Caserato, I posit that leaving the cell wouldn't have been a piece of cake, only because you had the key. I don't get no stinking key. I didn't need one. It was a piece of cake because the door was open. I went right now.
Objection!
Yes, I suppose Knight's cell was vacant by that point, and there would have been no reason to lock it. And it was indeed unlocked when I went to examine it for myself. So perhaps when you finally succeed today, it truly was unlocked because it was after the murder. But you had attempted to escape previously. Yeah, security footage shows when you tried and failed because Teddy caught you. Which was during the circus performance, before the body was discovered. The holding cell was still locked at the time, because you knew that Mr. Knight had been killed yet. Therefore, you must have had the key on his cell on you. Without it, your escape would have been impossible. Are you saying, could he really have... I believe he could, yes. The theft of the keys was in fact perpetrated by none other than Mr. Casarato. He's the one who attacked the guard. He's squaring up, boys! But not just the guard, Knight too, all to gain possession of the guard's keys. It wasn't me, you lousy bum. I didn't even know this Knight guy.
Objection!
After you stole the keys, you went back to your cell to avoid suspicion. And then you waited for the perfect moment to escape, a moment when the prison would be almost deserted. That's right, the moment of the show, just before the discovery of the body. Unlucky for you, that particular attempt was thwarted by your furry friend. Dezu, you got proof, genius? This ain't your win yet. Nuh-uh. Knight knocked the guard out from the count. Everybody knows it.
Objection!
Don't play games with me. Knight was as much a victim as the guard in your case. As a matter of fact, I have proof the Knight had been attacked in his cell. It'll probably be this then.
Take that!
We found traces of Knight's blood on the cleanly white floor of his cell. What could possibly explain such a thing other than having him being attacked? And it was you who attacked him. You ambushed the both of them and stole the keys. Why, I order. What's with you, huh? The newspaper wiped that blood up good. Ain't no way you should have found it. Okay, but why did you think you had to wipe it up anyway? If they checked Knight in the guard's hands, they would have seen those two never came to blows. But that blood would have given up the whole game. Ain't no way they won't figure there was a third man in the ring. Plus, once they started sniffing around on the floor, you'd found the tunnel in a heartbeat. So you wiped up the floor to buy yourself a little more time, so you could wait for a better opportunity. Sadly, the opportunity you sought wasn't good enough to get you clear of the prison, it seems. Now, hand over the keys. Right in the kisser. The bear's running it. Okay, that was good. That was a good breakdown. KO'd by a lousy stinking bum. Fine, you want the keys here. I hope you choke on him. Woo! Oh, wait a moment. If Mr. Casarato here had the keys... Indeed, Your Honor. Your theory relies on Knight having used the keys to allegedly stole during his escape. Or to escape the cell. That was the only way he could have been able to enter Mr. Saint's cage and be moved to the workshop. Unfortunately for you, we now know that the theory cannot possibly be true. Aye! No! Guess it's changed things up a bit, huh? Yeah. Now the only person who could have moved Knight's body is the one person who knew about that tunnel. No! You gotta be freaking... Mr. Casarato, you're under arrest. Come quietly now, pal. Oh, wait, you got the wrong guy. I didn't do nothing. Alright, fine. I knocked those two chumps out and I stole the keys. But after that, I went right back to my cell and waited for my moment. Next time I went to Knight's cell, there was nobody around, and I mean nobody. Plus his body was found in the workshop. You think I just magicked my way in there or something? Couldn't have gotten out of my cell. Indeed. You only had the key to Knight's cell. You couldn't have left your own cell back in the prison. But Mr. Canis's dog could. It was not you, but Helmet who moved the body from your cell to the workshop. I get it now. You're saying he wasn't the only con in this conspiracy. Indeed. One can easily imagine that Mr. Casarato and Mr. Canis would have worked together. Mr. Casarato would have killed Knight and dragged him back to his cell. And then Mr. Canis's dog took him from the workshop. There are no restrictions on the animal movements within the prison. Movements between the detention center and the prison proper, however, is tightly controlled. There was only one possible route, and only you could have taken advantage of it, Mr. Caserato. How can you be so sure, huh? Maybe there's more to him, more of them you just don't know. Something tells me that digging even a single tunnel was arduous enough. You got that right. You tried scraping more than one hole in the dirt with a spoon. Lucky for me, I didn't have to dig the whole way. Somebody already did a bunch of work for me. What? You didn't dig the entire tunnel yourself? Nope. Found it when he put me in the cell. It ran all the way from here to the well in the yard already. Even looked down the well to check it from there. It was the same tunnel, all right. I just made good on what somebody else already started. Then what was the original tunnel for? Who knows? Not the ones with all the answers, pal. Maybe somebody else tried to break out. By going into the prison. Makes sense, I suppose. It doesn't make sense. Would have been a great opportunity to have Kay steal the keys off him as he tried to run. It would be interesting, yeah. Ooh, or maybe the animals dug it. Like to get water from the well or something? I heard of more plausible scenarios than that B-grave movies, Kay. Well's dry, kid. Ain't no water doubt to be had down there. Though, come to think of it, a smell. It always smelled kinda nice down there. Nice. Gee, I don't know. Smelled sort of like dessert or something. Not a desert, a dessert. A sweet scent. That sounds very familiar. Where did we come across a sweet scent before? I'm gonna have to try and remember that now. Couldn't find anything. Postal mail. I'm trying to remember when I heard this sweet scent. There we go. Detective Gumshoe noted a sweet smell when we were examining Knight's body. With the help of a police dog, we followed the scent of the body and traced its route back through the prison. And that, Mr. Caserato, was how we found your tunnel. Could that same sweet scent be what you noticed coming from the well? Very clever, Mr. Edgeworth. You mean to suggest that this is evidence of the body having been moved through the tunnel? I do. Furthermore, Mr. Caserato, you're the only person who could have done it. Nobody else had access. You have our thanks, Mr. Caserato. Truly. Finally, the truth comes into view. Now unburden yourself. It is time. Confess your role in this tragic incident. What? You ain't pinning this on me? I'm glad to see we are finally in agreement, Your Honor. Oh, if only we were, Mr. Edgeworth. Mr. Caserato may have been an accomplice, but not of Mr. Canis, no. He was working with Mr. Knight. What do you mean? I do not believe that he moved Mr. Knight's body. Instead, I believe that he lent Mr. Knight the use of the keys he stole. You've got to be kidding. Why don't we just ask him and he'll just say no? Granted, it seems likely that he attacked Mr. Knight. But that doesn't necessarily mean that Mr. Knight was attacked, knocked unconscious as a result. And what if he wasn't? What if he and Mr. Crasso had reached a certain agreement? What kind of agreement exactly? Mr. Knight was plotting an escape for which he required a means of leaving his cell. And here was what was precise means in forms of the keys Mr. Caserato had just taken from the guard. Mr. Knight himself would need to pass through Mr. Knight's cell in order to effect his own escape. Mr. Knight needed only to shout and alert the guards, and Mr. Caserato's plans would be ruined. And so, the two struck a deal. Lady, the only one striking it I do is my fists. My, still you deny it? So, we agreeing that we still disagree? Mr. Knight and Mr. Caserato unlocked the cell so that when Mr. Saint arrived, he could escape into the cage. Mr. Saint was then able to move him in the prison proper just as planned. Aha! And then he took Mr. Knight into the workshop and did the dirty deed.
Objection!
Were neither of you listening? The scent of Knight's body proves that it was taken through the tunnel. If he was moved from the cell to the... Perhaps you would let me finish, Mr. Edgeworth. Well, I would if you'd let me finish as well sometimes. I'm not denying that Mr. Knight's body was moved through the tunnel. Then what are you driving at? Is this a trick question? As you say, Mr. Edgeworth, the sweet scent followed the route back the body took. However, it did not enter the tunnel from Mr. Knight's cell. Huh? Then how did it get down there? There is another possibility, one you seem to have overlooked. The well in the yard. Could a body not have entered the tunnel from there? The well in the yard? Oh yeah, that thing! Mr. Saint did not take the cage to the workshop, he took it outside. There, he killed Mr. Knight. We're just changing where he gets killed all over the place, aren't we? First it was in the workshop, then it's in the prison, then it was actually in his cell, and now we're in the yard. Make up your mind! Mr. Canis's dog then dragged Mr. Knight's body here to his owner's cell from the bottom of the well. I'm still trying to wonder, how do they figure that the dog can just gain access to a random prison cell? On that note, I would ask you to recall something. What was happening in the yard at the approximate time of the body's discovery? The circus show, right? Regina and Simeon were performing for everyone. Wait, Simeon? Ah! Ah, indeed. So you see how it must have always been him who disposed of the body. Judge Cavell is truly a formidable opponent because she just made this up and we're just accepting it. She didn't provide any evidence, she didn't say or do any investigation, she just made this up right now, we're just accepting it as truth. She so effortlessly adjusted her theory to fit the facts. I propose that Mr. Knight was taken to the yard, not the workshop. And as we have established, Mr. Saint was off stage for 15 minutes. Ample time to throw the body down the well, and I'm sure you'll agree.
Objection!
A dog is also thin enough? Maybe. Your deduction is quite impressive, Your Honor. However, even supporting that Knight's body was indeed thrown down the well, you cannot exclusively or conclusively say that it was during the show. It could have happened at a different time. My sympathies, Mr. Edgeworth, but it simply could not have. What? Mr. Caserato was using the tunnel at around the time the show began. Mr. Caserato, did you happen to trip over a corpse while you were down there? No. Place was clean. If the body had been moved from the bottom of the well before the show began, Mr. Caserato would have seen it. However, he saw no such thing. Which makes it somewhat difficult to support your theory. And he didn't work with the guy. If he was questioned, you would know that and it wouldn't support your theory. Furthermore, Mr. Knight's body was discovered in the workshop after the show. In summary, the body must have been thrown down the well and moved to the workshop. At some point during the show. Tell me, who else could have done that but Mr. Saint? Oh! What do we do, Mr. Edgeworth? If the body did indeed enter the tunnel from the well, things don't look so good for Mr. Saint. Still, Your Honor, your theory is just that, a theory. And I posit that you lack the evidence to back it up. I concede that for the moment I do not. May I suggest that we investigate the yard again? Very well. May the goddess of justice go with you. Now then, to the yard. Perhaps we can finally put the case to rest. What's that sound? Is there a fire? Did somebody else escape? Should we maybe skip down too? Darlings, please, there's nothing to be alarmed about. By which I mean it's not an alarm, it's the dinner bell. Although I suppose it's rather alarming if you aren't used to it. It certainly scared the heck out of me. I'm so sorry, Sweet Pea. I hope you can forgive us. All right, you two, back to your posts. Chop, chop. You're not going to take the other guy to prison? And as for you, Rocco Casarato, it's time you went back to your room. With the hole in the floor. Fine, I get the picture. Come on, Teddy, we're out of here. Warden Lagarde, we'd like to take one more look around the yard now. Oh, darlings, don't you have homes of your own to go to? Visiting hours are over, I'm afraid. Tomorrow, No, it's imperative that we investigate it right away. I think we've had quite enough excitement for one day, don't you? Murderers, escapees, so eventful. I helped you find one of your people, let me in! It's time our guest went home to Betty Pies, isn't it? Yes, it is. Come now, darling. Don't make me bore you with all that I am the warden that's an order nonsense. Warden Lagarde is right. Her word is law here, and we must respect her wishes. Mr. Edworth, your investigation in the yard will have to wait until tomorrow. You may keep your badge for now. The matter of your standing can wait. I bid you all good day. She got those platform shoes I just noticed. Or wedge shoes, I guess you would call them. What are you waiting for, kittykins? Off you go. Fine. At least there is a tomorrow for me. Judge Cavell believes that Knight's body was dropped down the well, and then taken through Mr. Casarato's cell to the workshop. But is that truly the case? Do the facts really support her theory? She also seems to believe Mr. Saint had to be the one to move the body. Was he really the only one with the opportunity to do so? Come on, Mr. Edgeworth, tomorrow's another day. We'll figure out the way to see Simeon. I know we will. Yes, we will. I will prove that Mr. Saint is innocent, beyond a shadow of a doubt. All done. How long was that? That was an hour and 30 minutes? God. If each part is pretty much an hour and 30 minutes times 2, because this is a part of the previous part. So, if each part is pretty much 2 hours nearly, it is currently 8:30. I think we can stop here. I would like to keep going, but everything's been taken down. We can save this for another time. So we'll save. We won't save because I only just saved. We shall continue this next week. Oh man, we got all of that done. There was a lot to do in that, considering it was an hour and 30 minutes and we only got that much done. But yeah, we're going to see what happens next time where we investigate the yard and hopefully find the truth. Again, I'm putting my eggs that the warden is the one that ended up being the killer. She probably thought that he was an unruly person or something and just went, oh, you know what? I don't want to have you here because we don't have enough pets or something. Oh, I don't know. Maybe you sorted my alligator. Because she's like... It's weird how much they're pushing her into the scene, which makes me think that they're trying to put her as the suspect. But yeah, that's it for today. I'll be back tomorrow with more Hades, which I was going to say, talk about whether I'm going to be continuing it or not, because I did some looking up, but we'll talk about it then. There may be a delay depending on what happens tomorrow. I have a thing to do that day. Which is before the stream, like way before, but I don't know if there's going to be something that's happening after it that might take more time. So just be aware of that. I might also just be too tired to do it, so who knows. But that is it for today. So thank you all for watching, everyone. Hope you all enjoyed. As usual, like, follow, subscribe, bell notifications so you get notified of when I stream. And if you like what I do and help support me directly, you can go to Patreon and tips in the description at the bottom of the video or anywhere else. They help a lot, and they do help a lot. And if you do become a patron, you get invited to the patron list here, where I give you a shout out every stream, like I do with Hiro Kuni, the Soulmaster 37, Rafajon 2000, where I thank you for the continued support. I greatly appreciate you all. And yeah, it's helpful. It helps a lot. We go around, we fight a boxer guy, we punch him with words and win. But that's it for today. Y'all take care of the rest of the day. I'll see you all tomorrow, or I'll see you all on next week, Tuesday. Until then, y'all take care. Bye, everyone. Bye, Rafajon. Thanks for stopping by.